What's going on, guys? Cecil here. Welcome to GTA Online. Today I will show you how to join a public session by yourself in this game. So let's get started. As you can see right here, I'm in a public session by myself right now. I always do that. I do that all the time when I go to Grand Theft Auto Online because it makes a lot of things easier. All the businesses that you open in GTA Online free mode are a million times easier when you are actually on your own in a public session. For an example, the vehicle cargo deliveries and the special cargo deliveries. Also, all the gun running shipments, whether it's for the sales or whether it's for the stocks. And also all the MC businesses, whether it's for example the MC business deliveries or the MC business stealing stock missions. Everything about businesses is a million times easier if you are in a public session by your own. So actually being in a public session on your own is actually very profitable because you wouldn't really care so much or worry so much about other players blowing you up and destroying everything you have and making you lose a ton of money. Now you might be wondering, why don't you just go into a solo session or an invite only session? Well, no, that won't work because in a solo session or an invite only session you won't be able to do anything in your businesses. Alright, it is required for you to only do the business deliveries and stealing stocks and the sales and everything for your businesses in public session. Other than that, you won't even be allowed to access the laptop that I'm gonna go to right now. So the laptop in the businesses you cannot actually use unless you are in a public session. It's just gonna tell you straight off that you are not in a public session. You cannot access the laptop. So basically being in a public session all by yourself is the only method you could ever possibly use to actually do all the deliveries and all the stealing stocks of your businesses without being interrupted by other players or without worrying about being interrupted by other players. But being in a solo session and an invite only session won't work because when you access, for an example, this computer right here, after you access this computer and you try to log into it, it won't allow you and it will tell you that you have to be in a public session to be able to log into the computer. But right now I'm in a public session, so I can actually do whatever I want. For example, let's source a damn vehicle right now. Why the hell not? There we go. Alright, let's just get out of here. I won't really go after that vehicle. I'll just tell you the method of going into a public session. So yeah, I guess you now understand why it's so profitable to be in a public session by your own. It's just because that you can make all the deliveries of the businesses and all the stealing stocks and all the stuff that has to do with anything about your business without worrying about a random player, bombing you and blowing you for no reason. And by the way, sometimes that actually costs you a lot. For an example, if you go for a special cargo, full special cargo consisting 111 crates, and you're going to sell it for $2.2 million, and then some random person in the online session would just blow you up and destroy everything, then that would be it. You literally lost the work of like 10 or maybe even 20 days in Grand Theft Auto Online for nothing. You won't get that $2.2 million. You will earn nothing from all that work. And imagine if you made it one crate at a time. Holy shit, that would be the worst thing ever. So yeah, obviously being in a public session all by yourself is extremely important if you're gonna make an important delivery like the delivery of 111 crates that you gained one crate at a time and took from you a month or something to complete, and after all that some random person in Grand Theft Auto Online session will just blow you up and that's it. You lost $2.2 million for no good reason. Holy shit, what a landing. Did you guys see that? I actually landed exactly between these two pipes perfectly fine. There we go, there's a vehicle. Anyways, I don't care much about the vehicle. Let me just show you the method. So I just wanted to let you know how exactly Grand Theft Auto Online works. For example, when you start joining Grand Theft Auto Online, which session do you go to exactly? You know what, let's just take the vehicle while I'm talking because obviously I'm talking a little bit about stuff and I have nothing to do while talking. So yeah, you collected the vehicle cargo. Anyways, what I was trying to explain here is, as you can see, I'm delivering the vehicle cargo right now and I'm completely 100% safe and I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about any other player interrupting me or trying to shoot me or destroy the car or whatever. So yeah, man, being in a public session all by yourself is a relaxing way to make money easily in this game. Like basically I'm just teaching you how to make money easily in this game. Anyways, what I wanted to tell you guys is that how does internet works when you go into Grand Theft Auto Online is basically, first of all, it gets you into the best session you could ever possibly get into with your internet connection. So the first Grand Theft Auto Online session you will ever enter when you join Grand Theft Auto Online is the most crowded one you could ever possibly enter because they'll just get you into the best one with your internet connection. So if you go into the start menu and go to online and go to find a new session, they will find a different session than the one you're on, and Basically, that new session is the second best session you could ever possibly get into with the internet connection, and will be less crowded than the first one. And actually try it right now. Go into the first session, you will find it extremely crowded. Go to find the new session, you'll find it less crowded than the first one. Now once you go into the second session and then go all the way again into the start and then go into online and go to find the new session again, it will find a different session, and that different session is the third best session you could ever possibly get into with your internet connection, and it will be less crowded than the first two. Now that's not 100% guaranteed. Maybe it will be more crowded, but one thing for sure is that it's worse than the first two. Like, the internet connection or the way the game works is gonna be worse. It will be a little bit more laggy. Maybe it won't be noticeable, but it will be worse than the first two. Otherwise it would actually come before them. Now if you keep repeating going into a new session every time you go into a different session, you will actually always end up being in a session all by yourself. Now how many times do you have to go and find a new session for this to work? For me, it always worked somewhere between from 3 to 10 times. It never exceeded 10 times and it never went below 2 times, alright? I mean, it always went like, for example, I go for the first time, I find myself in a very crowded session. The second time, I always find myself in a session where there are people anyway. Beginning from the third session, I sometimes find myself all by myself, and sometimes I find some people in there, so I have to go into a new session. And I keep doing that until I find myself all by myself in a session. Now it always takes me between 3 and 10 times. It never went below 3 times and it never went above 10 times. So basically it will only take from your time something like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. Won't take more than that. Depends on your loading actually. As you can see, I just delivered a vehicle into my vehicle cargo without having to pay a single penny for the repair cost, because no other players tried to interrupt me and no other players tried to shoot me, and I even didn't worry about the delivery at all. I just went straight through the yellow marker without worrying at all. Like, I didn't worry about, hey, that player right there, so I have to avoid him. Son, what the hell do you want? No, I don't want to talk to you right now, woman. So I didn't worry at all about the fact that, for example, hey, that player is over there, so I'm gonna have to avoid him and go from a different path or anything. The only people that will worry you are the NPCs that are implanted into the mission to try and stop you, but you won't have to worry at all about random online players that will actually, try to stop you. And by the way, being in a public session all by yourself is the best time ever for you to actually make a huge deal like the one I'm doing right now. I'm about to sell a car for $80,000. So basically, yeah, that's all you need to worry about in order for you to get in a public session by yourself. Like I said, the first session you go to is the best session, so it will be extremely crowded. The second session will be less crowded than the first one because it's the second best session you could ever possibly get into, so it will always be less crowded. And starting from the third session, moving up all the way to 10 sessions, you will actually, oh, what did I say? Yes, the NPCs are the only ones you have to worry about, like these motherfuckers right there. They're trying to destroy the car, but yeah, the NPCs are the only ones that you have to worry about when doing those deliveries. Anyways, what I was saying is that starting from the third session all the way up to 10 sessions, you actually have the probability to be on a session on your own, because those sessions will be extremely weak depending on your internet connection, and they will be very, very bad that they weren't in the first sessions they suggested you. But it also depends on your internet connection. Based on my internet connection, it always comes from the third session up to the 10th session. But maybe your internet connection is very good, so it will take more than that so that you will end up in a session by your own. But anyways, I don't know about your internet connection, how strong it is, but for me it was 100% guaranteed that it's always the third up to the 10th session. It always worked for me between these two number of sessions. Anyways, yeah, that's all about how being in a public session by yourself, it's really helpful for you to make a ton of money from your businesses without being interrupted by other players. And yeah, that's all. That's what I see, guys. Lear, bye.